To order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone. Housekeeping note, this meeting is being recorded. We typically start with introductions. Mr. Moore.
Al Moore, IT Director.
Thank you.
Matt Fry, County Treasurer. Rick Brown, Solicitor.
Craig Bauer, Commissioner.
Fritz Lecker, Commissioner.
Matt Quisenberry, Commissioner. Todd Straub, Chief Clerk, Al County.
Harry Williamson, Deputy Chief Clerk.
Thank you. Again, good morning. We have an agenda in front of us for this meeting today. Had a chance to approve that or to review that. For any changes, edits, comments? Hearing none, look for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Thank you, gentlemen. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We also have in front of us the minutes of the January 8th, 2026 County of Elk Retirement Board. Had a chance to review those. Look for any changes, comments, or edits. Hearing none, I'd look for a motion to approve the minutes. I will make that motion. Look for a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Under presentations today, we have a retirement plan performance review. Actuarial determined contribution, ADC requirements, and other pertinent information. This review and information will be presented by our Chief Clerk, Board Secretary, Mr. Patrick Straub. Floor is yours, sir.
This is just sort of an annual State of the Union address here.
If we, your.
You're gonna make me laugh too. Thank you.
So, sorry, with the band. Okay.
Still with it.
Got one, okay. So, as of 6/30/26, our plan balance stands at $37,784,293. You can see the last 2 years. So, in terms of rate of return for the 6 months, we've achieved a performance rate of 21.56, which is tremendous given the composition of our portfolio. We hit it kind of just right for the first 6 months. I don't know what the next 6 months might bring, but we're doing very well, which, as you'll see, assists us in the county contribution to the plan. The better the return on the investments, the less money is required by the county. But in terms of composition, we're pretty much sitting in a balanced portfolio, which is pretty neutral rated, 60/40, 60 equity, 40 fixed income or cash. Total participants about the same, 287, 283 last year. And you could just see the breakdown. We have 117 pensioners, 27 that have retired, not yet eligible, so they're not vested, and then 143 active employees contributing. Again, the county's portion is called the ADC, Actuarial Determined Contribution. Last year, the actuary sort of gives us a flash estimate, just their best guess of where we would be, knowing that the plan year isn't finished and the investment performance isn't finished for the year. So their estimate for 2026 was $630,000, which is the number that the county budgeted for 2026, and we're funding at that level. The actual ADC, due to the performance in the market, was less than that, $417,736. The commissioners chose to fund at the higher budgeted level, and we funded half of that, or $315,000, through the 6 months. I think you know what the ADC is, but it's just a number to balance the equation of all of the retirement benefits yet to be paid based on the participants that are in the plan. And then you've got to make certain assumptions when you do that. In terms of financial health, we're at a 95.9 funded ratio, which is nearing excellent. The higher the better, obviously. You can go over 100, you could be overfunded. There's not really a good reason to do that in most cases. If you're below that, of course, you've got there's a couple of scenarios where you've got it. Usually it leads to a higher contribution. That's not the only way you can really make that up. Again, just in terms of peers, 80 to 90% is generally considered adequately funded. 100% would be considered fully funded. Most core plans are generally 90 to 100. Most are 100% funded, but public pensions don't generally follow that same model, only due to the stress and the source of their revenues, big tax revenues. The average is 82.5%. So we're far exceeding that. And then just at the bottom, of course, there's risks to all of this. Investment risk, you know, the contribution risk, liquidity risk, and the risk that the participants outlive your expectations. So there's lots of risks to the plan. We've got a very good actuary and a very good investment advisor, and they do a great job keeping us in line. So I'd say we're in very good shape.
Thank you, Mr. Straub. You said we have a very good actuary and a very good investment advisor, but we also have an excellent internal guru on this. So we really do appreciate your investedness. Is that a word? Your involvement, your you know, you pay attention every single day.
Try.
And it's really these results are evident of that interest and
There are some market
commitment.
forces that are beyond our control. We're not just going to be able to do much about, but it's important to recognize that we're not passive in this as well. We take an active role, Pat takes an active role. So outside of what those factors are that might be beyond our influence, there are going to be decisions that have to get made on how we allocate portfolio. That's where your expertise has come in. And I think from my experience, since the years I've seen this, provided excellent leadership in being able to keep that rate of return well above what the projected expectation is. Okay.
21.5%
That's, oh God.
rate of return is
Yeah, we hit it almost perfectly. So with more of a value-based strategy, so it just came into favor in the first 6 months. It's pretty much staying there, but
What goes up?
can always change.
yeah. Again, thank you, Pat. We really are lucky to have you involved here. Any other questions or comments? It's a shame that the press didn't stay for this. That's worthy. Nice job, Pat. Okay, no old business, under new business. New business number 1, review and consider CS McKee recommendation to change our large cap value investment option from a mutual fund to an exchange traded fund. And here's where Pat shined, because Greg, do you want to take this?
No.
This is where my eyes glaze over, and I'm glad Pat's here. So Pat, would you give us a little synopsis there, please?
Yeah, I would consider this more of an administrative move. Really, I mean, it's not impactful to the retirement fund, but it is technically a change. So I'm taking it to the board, just that would be a matter of record. It's just a change from 2 different types of investments. A mutual fund is they're both baskets of stocks or bonds. Mutual fund is a basket of stock or bonds, which is only priced once per day. So all of the trading occurs. They do their final accounting at the end of the day. They calculate what's termed net asset value. And then if you're trading that mutual fund, you're either buying or selling, you would get the net asset value for the end of the day. So you gotta wait all day. An ETF is basically turns a basket of stocks into one investment. So it trades continuously throughout the day. It has the same it could have the same underlying securities, which may or may not be in sync with the price of the ETF. So I mean, the whole basket of stocks could be worth 990,000 at any given time, and the ETF, if you add up all the shares, could be trading at a million, just based on market forces throughout the day. But generally it tracks net asset value over time. A couple advantages to it: the manager can make more rapid decisions. They can trade an ETF throughout the day based on changing market conditions, which is in our favor. And it generally has lower fees associated with it. So it's a win-win. It's their recommendation, and I'm all for it. It's really not an issue for us, but probably should be discussed.
Thank you. So it's a recommendation from CS McKee, as well as you concur with that, right?
I do.
Any questions, comments? Look for a motion to approve that recommendation.
Two.
Motion, I'll make that second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you. New business items number 2 and 3 are both merely housekeeping items. There's been no formal written instruction on these processes. We wanted to document that and get it into the record. So ongoing boards have a definitive map to follow. New business number 2 is review process for termination of retirement plan accounts and distribute account balances for employees who separate from employment before becoming vested. Pat, again, do you want to give us a little more info on this?
Yeah, again, we're memorializing a change in process. According to county pension law, anytime an employee no longer has achieved full-time status, should be out of the plan. They can't get in the plan until they're a full-time employee, and immediately upon termination, they should be removed from the plan, and it's called a refund or return of contributions. That's sometimes difficult to achieve, in that we try to catch up with the employee before they leave to sign the required paperwork with respect to what their balances in the fund are, because they do have an election to make, because there's normally pre-tax and post-tax contributions in there. And if they don't reply, our only solution would be to issue them a check within the 60-day rollover window, and they would need to place those funds in a pre-tax or post-tax investment. The pre-tax, if they don't make rollover arrangements, there's a 20% withholding. So we try to get it right the first time. We try to catch up to them, get their intent, get their final address, and get their money out of the plan. Historically, that hasn't been totally achieved for a couple different timing reasons. We don't have final payrolls processed yet, but we are implementing a new process where we estimate the balance before the employee leaves the building, basically, so that we can get their intentions and then get them on their way. So I got Gary, my wing person here to my right, so tell me if I'm saying something wrong, but again, we have the initial letter for the non-vested distributions. Then we have a pension distribution election form, which becomes more of an official document. That's the final tally of all of the money, including the final pay. So we send that letter out. Sometimes it's not responded to. Sometimes after we send it USPS, we send it certified. Sometimes they return the card and still do nothing. So we have no choice to this point to leave them in the plan. And we've still working through a few, we're trying to clean that up, so we've only got active participants in there. So what we're doing, again, another change of process is that we're going to send a check or authorize our custodian Northwest to send a check, cut a check in the amount that they're entitled to and mail it to the participant. At that point, it's sort of between Northwest and the participant to work out, but it's out of the plan. The county code does not provide for any interest for somebody who is not in the plan. So we do not pay interest on the balances that remain after the date of termination. So I want to be clear about that. So it's just very important to get it back in their hands so that we're not sitting on someone else. So I don't know what the approval is here, but more or less to approve a change of process that we'll use all of our best efforts to get the person in before they leave, have them sign the required documents. If not, we're going to, the plan is to authorize the custodian to send the check out, get the money out of the plan, which will have consequences of its own. So, if you could add anything to that area.
No, that you pretty much summed up it.
So
Would
will,
have been adjusted.
thank you. So will we incorporate those notes, explanation of the process and the new forms into the minutes of this meeting?
Yeah,
So we have a roadmap going forward.
Yes.
yeah.
So I'd look for a motion to approve those processes and those forms, enter that information into the record. And I think that's it, right, Rick?
That's it.
Okay, look for a motion to do that.
So moved.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Thank you, gentlemen. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thanks for doing that right up, Pat. That is lengthy, but it does give future HR, everybody, a process to follow, eliminate that problem. So new business number 3, review the plan participants' final average salary methodology.
Can I have a salad?
Are you hungry?
Yes, salad and methodology, salary and that. Anyway, again, this is just a housekeeping item to instill a roadmap, directions, et cetera, into the official record, so future folks have know what they're doing. How's that?
Again, memorializing a change. The county pension law is somewhat vague. I don't know if it's designed that way or not. But it's the actuaries tell you it's a template that must be followed, but it can be interpreted. But if it's interpreted, it should be documented. And that's the intent of what I'm doing here is the final salary by county pension law is defined as the average annual compensation received by a contributor for the 3 highest years of service. Well, there's a few ways that you could calculate that. And we typically, and what I'd like to memorialize was the fact that we use the 3 highest calendar years of the participant, or the rolling last 78 pays. So if you retired in July, you would get the 78 pays immediately prior to that. So it's to the participant's advantage, whatever is higher, because in different instances it can be it can work out differently for the participant. I mean, there are county employees who maybe have had a higher paying job in 2016 or 2017 and maybe moved to a lower one. So in that instance, you would use probably the highest 3 years. In most instances at the county, because most people are getting a standardized COLA and their wages generally going up. Generally, it's the last 78 pays that provides the best, but there are instances where it could work in the participants' favor doing it the other way. And I would argue that that's probably the fairest way to give them the highest of the two. So basically, no change, just this is the way we've been interpreting it. And the intent is just to memorialize the fact that that's the way we were calculating it. Anything to add?
There could be one instance where somebody was, we'll say they were full-time and then they go to part-time, they're still required to contribute to the plan as a part-timer once they're in the plan and an active employee. So again, that's just another example of, it might not be their last 78 pays, it could be calendar years prior to.
The only other thing I'll add, I think, if I understand this correctly, and it's probably in there, is the option for the employee has to be one or the other. It can't be a hybrid of both. So we can't do a 1 calendar year and then start to go on a rolling average for the remainder of the time that's going to be calculated towards the
Right,
pension.
one method or the other.
Correct.
Right.
So you have to choose option A or option B. You can't mix and match among those.
Yeah. So, and 78 pays, obviously 26 pays a year, so last rolling 3 years. So that's what I got.
A lot of work done on this. I know a lot of confusion has existed over the years, so it's just nice to get this down. It is very fair to the employee. We check both ways, see which way benefits the retiring employee the most. So good job on this. It'll be nice to have this formalized and entered into the record. Any other questions, comments? Look for motion to approve this recommendation, this process, and have it entered into the official record. I will make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion to second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Did that make sense, Calvin? Did you understand that?
Yeah,
Were you paying attention at all?
yeah, it makes sense. I mean, why would you wanna, you wanna make the most money after you retire, so.
Right.
Either option's gonna give you that choice, why it makes sense.
Great.
If you selected one way, you wouldn't be recognizing
Correct.
the other way, which,
It's not real fair.
yeah, and again, the county pension law is just intentionally vague on some items, and most counties interpret it one way, but again, if you're interpreting it, it should be documented so it's consistent.
Consistency. Great. Did we voted on that, right? Okay, awesome. New business, old business number 4, new business number 4. Online pension administration software. Mr. Chief Clerk, again?
Yes, again, getting to the 21st century. Our pension administration, which is Carrie and I, is the whole process and the way we interact and communicate with our participants and pensioners is very antiquated, and it's extremely manually applied. Whenever something is manually applied and you've got to pick numbers from different spots, chance for error, don't want chances for error. We do double check our work, but we're only 2 people and there's a lot of other things going on in the day. So it's very concentrated work, and we want to make sure that it's right. So we're also the hub in a hub and spoke setup. So a lot of information travels through the county to get to the next vendor. Currently, we've got one more vendor than we need, and I'll describe that in a minute. Of course, the more handoffs you have, the more potential that you have for errors, the more times that it's all encrypted when we send any information, but anytime you're sending sensitive personal information, you want to do it as few times as possible. Calvin. So we would take out one of those transfers that we do annually to our folks to get the information loaded in. There's also payroll information that's sent every other week. So we'd eliminate one transfer, 26 transfer to that person as well. Lots of benefits to doing this. I mean, there's been a tremendous amount of software developed over the past 10 years or so. A lot of folks in this business. And so it really wasn't an option, 10 years ago, you would have been taking a chance and probably not getting very good customer service, probably paying too much. I think we're in a sweet spot now. I think the costs are down to where they're gonna be, and the technology is certainly there. It gives our participants 24/7, 365 access to their information. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, they want to get up and look at that. They want to print out a form, look at tax documents, update their address, they can do it without calling Carrie or emailing Carrie. It's kind of clunky set up.
Very much so.
It is also going to allow active participants to create their own estimates. So right now, when estimates were prepared, they would again stop in, see Carrie, call or email her saying that this is my potential retirement date. Can you run an estimate for me? And that sometimes is multi-year. Maybe I'm thinking about retiring in 29, 30, 31, 32. So a lot of those spreadsheets are needing to be done manually if all the information was there, including the demographics on the participant, it would be very easy for the software to work through those numbers and give them all the what ifs they're looking for. Again, it cuts out one of our vendors, our plan administrator, which we have solely because our actuary did not, it's a warehouse of data. So it's all of the participants that are in the plan, we're in the plan, all of the money they contributed, plus all of the accrued interest. That is a record keeping service only. Those are the numbers that we pull when we're going to do our estimates or our final estimates for our actuary. So it's also going to give us, again, eliminating one vendor, give us a direct payroll feed from our payroll to this person. We can put notes on their records. We would have a documented history of all of the conversation that we had between these folks. So when you buy this, again, your county pension law is loaded in as the basic template. But when you make provisions or when you memorialize a different way of doing it, you build this into the software. So they are assisting you along that process. It's part of the calculation. Again, reduces the administrative burden. It's a big thing is it's going to eliminate the loss of the institutional knowledge when people come and go. Prior to Carrie and I getting here, there was some turnover. So the transfer of how you did this and how you did this wasn't available. So that went out the door with he or she who left. Probably not a good process. So this would certainly eliminate anything there, provide a more consistent service, in my opinion. In terms of who's out there and what the costs are, there's many players in this business. We've talked to 3 already. Carrie and I have sat through 3 demos. And if we consider this favorably, we would probably do another round of those to make our final recommendation. Most of the vendors are looking at a one-time fee. I have 13,500 to 15,000 to transfer the data, to set up, to add all the customization, to do the staff training and the administrative training. And then ongoing from 15.5 to 17.5, a couple of them have different bells and whistles that you can get. So you'd have to determine, if they're needed or necessary. It would also include the maintenance fees and the security certificates. So we would make sure that, you would have to make sure security is paramount because you're transferring a lot of sensitive data, the social security numbers and birth dates. But that's included in all the plans that we've looked at. And when you're looking at the ongoing cost, our current plan administrator, which I mentioned that we would no longer need, is currently costing us $6,000 a year. So you would take that off of the ongoing fee. So we'd be netted out to 10 or 11,000 net increase. Where the payment for the fees ultimately comes from is, I guess, determined by the commissioners and the retirement board. All of our other fees are paid from the retirement plan, and it doesn't affect any of the benefits that are provided to any of the participants. It's a defined benefit plan, so they're getting the same benefit regardless of what the plan has or doesn't have. And it's whatever's needed to fund the plan is funded by the county through the ADC. So if I was to make a recommendation, I would think that would come from the retirement plan, but that would be up to the retirement board and the commissioners. So I would recommend that we move in this direction for all those reasons. Carrie, do you have anything to add? A lot of it falls on the Carrie, so it's a tremendous amount of back and forth, scribbling notes, getting back to folks. So there's lots of potential for error. There's not errors being made, but you've got to have a heightened sense of, what you're doing, and it's got to be accurate.
Absolutely. It is very time consuming because you want it to be extremely accurate. And I work up what I think is correct, send it to Pat, he reviews, he sends back to me, I look at what he did, and vice versa. If I think there's something out of line, talk about it before we actually move forward. Handing something to people. We want to make sure that our final calculations are accurate, and by going to this type of software administration would eliminate a lot of that, and it would be pretty much on time for the employee. As Pat said, if they want to go in at 3 a.m., do an estimate out for 5-10 years, whatever it might be, it could take us literally 20 hours to figure out that far, because there's a lot of assumptions and a lot of calculations being and again, be accurate. They're basing their life decisions on when they're going to retire and what we're providing them when it will be as close as possible. I take it very seriously. That's just not.
One other thing is, I think it's important that I believe if we move ahead in this direction, we have an outside vendor to prepare this, does not entirely move the role that you currently play in the final calculation, final presentation of that to a retiree. So we're not just turning our back and handing this off and hoping it works out. You're still going to lay eyes on it and verify the numbers that we get, do calculate to what you would think, and then from there make a decision of what's what's the final numbers gonna look like.
Right.
Kind of like we're checking their work.
Correct.
It removes
Yeah.
probably 70 or 80% of the redundant, repetitive administrative work. Most of these vendors, they have the option, when you're doing a final estimate, they don't just send it to the participant, they sign and say, I'll take that. There's an option which we would select, that when a person's ready for their final estimate, they've made their decision, and they want to move forward with retirement. The system would calculate it, send it to us. We would have the final review, and then at that point, we could dialogue with our actuary to make sure that all the information is correct. Sometimes these are large numbers, so mistakes in large numbers or monthly payments can make a big difference, both for the participant and for the county. So again, should be right, but it would be, that part is still gonna remain in our control. That's the important part. That's the part that don't mind being a part of, because we want to make sure it's correct. We'll have the last set of eyes on it. So in that regard, yeah.
So our current system, we have an employee who asked for final numbers. It is a lengthy process. You have to make some assumptions about COLAs for future years, if they're going next year, years down the road, et cetera. We have to go through Definity, that adds an extra step, extra time, extra cost. It's $6,300 this year, Pat.
Okay.
So that slows down the process, et cetera. With the new software, and you're reviewing software providers, an employee could get up at 3 a.m, punch in their login, say, I'm thinking of retiring this date, this date, this date, this date. And they will be able to receive an estimate directly. However, when they are ready to finalize their plans and retire, they will go in, log in, say, this is what I'm thinking, blah, 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 blah. And they can always get an estimate, but the county has the final option to review the information to make sure it's correct.
They can get as many illustrative estimates as they want.
Illustrative estimates, right? But when it comes time to run the final, that's approved and by the county.
And running estimates does, if you want 20, does not cost it.
Right. They can get that. They can check it every day of the year if they want. Okay. So what's our action
So I
item
would make
today?
a motion that we, the retirement board, direct the chief clerk and the board of commissioners to explore software vendors, get some idea on pricing with the expectation that we consider moving forward by January, when we reconvene as retirement board to make a final decision of moving forward in concert with the commissioners and expenditure of the funds for January of 2027.
Is that a motion? Sounded like one.
What do you got?
Motion for the chief clerk and the board of commissioners to explore pension software initiated by 2027.
Actually, the start date of 1/1/27 might be a great date. So if there's any way we could work ahead of that, might be advantageous to the county. There's also going to be wind down with the current vendors in terms of their service and the contract fees that we pay our record keeping service, because that's an annual contract. So it would renew in 1. So I would have to look at that and come back, and we have to have a special meeting or something on it. We should do it that way.
So our target date would be 1/1/27.
I would recommend that, yeah, it's probably gonna be the cleanest.
Definitely.
2 questions. Would that software eliminate the green sheets?
No,
No, okay.
no, I guess I didn't say that, but annually, all of our active participants get a column green sheets, but it has their current salary, what they've got in the plan, and then what their benefit would be at their normal retirement age, the county's portion and their portion, because there's two different buckets. So they think you get that annually.
And then the second question is for Commissioner Queensberry. The intent of your motion is not to also move forward with how that software will be funded. It's just to move forward with the software, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
The expenditure of the funds is going to be under the purview of the county board of commissioners. So the retirement board would not even have an ability to.
No,
expend its
I guess what I'm asking is how that software will be paid for. Your motion doesn't include that, meaning is it coming out of the retirement account or is it?
Correct. No, there, again, because that's going to be a fiscal matter, it's not going to be under the jurisdiction of the retirement board, if I'm thinking about this correctly.
If
We would have to determine for ourselves, if it's a decision that we feel is affordable and prudent and necessary, then the board of commissioners, under our responsibility, would then determine the best way to. Now, I would presume, to your point, if it is determined where the retirement, where the vendor would be paid out of the retirement fund, then that may require additional action of the entire board.
I think it will.
And this motion is just to investigate.
So that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking, because it was mentioned that the retirement account could pay for the software. So I just want to make sure your motion.
Did not direct anything, but I guess it can be understood that is a potential option. I think that would be true, that it could be funded from, it could be funded, but that,
And if it does,
that's yet to be determined.
that's gonna come back to the retirement board, I believe. So,
So, yes.
okay.
To make a recommendation to the commissioners on the funding.
I mean, that's a little bit of a dance back and forth. So if we come back and say, this is kind of odd because we sit in the same chairs, but if we came back and said, we think it's a great idea, but we can't pay for it, the retirement board, in theory, could come forward and say, well, wait a minute, we have access to funding that could pay for it. So you got to, really kind of an odd.
I think that would be part of the same special meeting of the retirement board, because I think one's gonna be necessary, once we make our selection, we convene in a special meeting.
Maybe I'm not clear enough. I was gonna second your motion, but I just want to make sure that I'm not so sure I'm there right now to have those funds to come out of the retirement account if we move to the software. So I wanted to make sure your motion also wasn't including that. That's what I was asking. So
We don't have a number to it.
so he's right. So he's saying it's not, so I will.
Attaching anything in the motion that.
All right, I just want to clarify. So I will second that.
Thank you. Anything else?
Basically,
those-
I'm sorry, I basically looking for an estimate. Is what I mean. But we're not even there yet. We get an estimate, it gives us our cost, our scope of work, it tells us who the vendor is gonna be, whatever it is. I'd like better information for us. Retirement board to. We're not even sure we're gonna move forward, but I'd like to at least have better information. Make it.
So the motion that was made does not include any specific provisions for paying for the software or the service. To be clear.
It's just information gathering.
Information gathering.
That's it.
I think it's well presented. I mean, you're made a very cogent argument on the reason why we benefit from having it, but I'd sure like to see a little bit more fleshed out in terms of details of what that's supposed to look like.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Any other business for discussion? No? Questions from the press or taxpayers? Calvin? For motion to adjourn? Thank you. Meeting adjourned. Our next regular meeting will be scheduled in January 2027. So thank you to everyone.